A central tenet of Zionism from its birth until today is that Zionism is a fortress of Western civilization in a sea of Oriental barbarism. How often have you heard Zionists say that the West must continue to supply them with billions of dollars of support because they are an outpost of Western values in the Middle East? But what Western values are those? The values responsible for the Holocaust, the Tsarist pogroms, the Spanish Inquisition, and 2,000 years of persecution, ghettoization, and sectarian violence? In what may be the biggest case of Stockholm Syndrome in history, the Zionist movement embraced the values of its persecutors with both arms and internalized them. Look at Zionism's founders, a group of secular Jews who rejected traditional Jewish identity and sought to Aryanize the old Jew, who they saw as backwards and Oriental, into a new Jew, who would be more European than the Europeans. The Austrian founder of political Zionism, Theodore Herszel, had a reverential regard for German culture. As a law student, he joined Albia, a fraternity that was aligned with the ethno-nationalist pan-German movement. The fraternity's motto was Honor, Freedom, Fatherland. At the time, Herzl's solution to anti-Semitism was to organize a mass conversion of Austrian Jews to Catholicism. It should be done on a Sunday in St. Stephen's Cathedral in the middle of the day, with music and pride, publicly. In 1882, Herzl's fraternity stopped admitting Jewish students. Herzl threatened to resign in protest, and his resignation was promptly accepted. This humiliation convinced Herzl that assimilation would not work. So conversion to Catholicism was out, replaced by a quest to create a Jewish version of the ethno-nationalism of his fraternity. Herzl wrote that the Jewish state would be a rampart of Europe against Asia, an outpost of civilization as opposed to barbarism. In an entry to his diary before the First Zionist Congress, he revealed his very German contempt for his Eastern European Jewish followers. The fact is, which I conceal from everyone, that I have only an army of schnorrers. I stand only at the head of boys, beggars, and schmucks. Zev Jabbatinsky, the founder of revisionist Zionism, used the vile stereotypes of European anti-Semites to describe the diaspora Jew. Our starting point is to take the typical Yid of today and to imagine his diametrical opposite. Because the Yid is ugly, sickly, and lacks decorum, we shall endow the ideal image of the Hebrew with masculine beauty. David Ben-Gurion, the labor Zionist, wrote of the European diaspora Jew, "They have no roots. They are rootless cosmopolitans. There can be nothing worse than that." Stalin would later use the exact same phrase to justify the persecution of Jewish intellectuals in the Soviet Union. Ben-Gurion was as virulent a racist as any European colonialist. He had this to say about Yemeni Jews: Yemeni culture is 2,000 years behind us, perhaps even more. It lacks the most basic and primary concepts of civilization. And this was his take on Moroccan Jews in 1959. An Ashkenazi gangster, thief, pimp, or murderer will not gain the sympathy of the Ashkenazi community, nor will he expect it. But in such a primate community as the Moroccans, such a thing is possible. It seems that the most important leaders of Zionism thought that if they could only be more like the civilized white supermen that ruled the world, they could go from slaves to slave masters. Racism, white supremacy, European ethno-nationalism, and colonialism. These were the values Zionists carried with them to Palestine. Like every European settler colonial movement, they saw the indigenous population not as people with rights, but as obstacles to be removed for the benefit of white European settlers. The European colonial ethno-state the Zionists founded looks to be ending the same way the fascist ethno-states of Europe wound up, collapsing in an orgy of apartheid, endless war, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. The Aryanized new Jew the Zionists created is proving to be no different than the Aryan Austrians who Herzl idolized. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you would like to see more content like this.